Why is my relationship in crisis after crisis? Why was it different before? You probably asked yourself that question about your relationship at some point. The question caused doubt, mistrust and uncertainty. Above all, it made you feel like you are constantly in a relationship in crisis. A relationship in crisis is not something you should be overly concerned about. It happens when a couple goes through a transition and needs a change. What you should worry about is how you deal with the crisis. If you sometimes blame the other person or ignore what is happening, you should analyze that behavior. Another unhealthy behavior is just thinking that the crisis is the end of your relationship or blindly trusting certain beliefs that undermine the bond you have with your partner. After a few years in the same relationship, it is normal to have to face new challenges. Maybe some of them are something that you never imagined. But all this is normal. The secret is knowing how to take care of them. Most couples are afraid of change. Perhaps the relationship is not as it was in the beginning and there have been some changes that may be the cause of a crisis. Beliefs and behaviors that can be the cause of a relationship in crisis. Romantic relationships are very important to us. Nevertheless, there are certain types of beliefs and behaviors that can turn a beautiful thing into something terrible. An example is the idea you have about what a relationship should be, or what love should be, or how your partner should behave. You get influenced by all those ideas, and it can trigger a crisis. Crisis is a state of circumstances in which change is imminent in one way or another. Webster. Another example that you might not have even realized is that most people would prefer that the wheat bread phase of a relationship would last forever. At the intensity of the phase subsides, you begin to see your partner as he or she is. Then expectations and idealization will disappear, and this can pave the way for a crisis. When you take off the blindfold and discover that your partner is not who you thought, you try to keep things running as best as possible. To do that, you may be trying to change the other. You will shape them and direct them towards the role models and expectations that will not come true. But this is not the same as accepting the other person. You're just trying to shape them to be as close to your mental image as possible. If you behave like this, the other person may be offended and problems will arise. Because how would you feel if someone tried to change who you are? It's okay to ask your partner to change, as long as you don't demand it and take their opinion into account. Another mistake is to think that once you are in a relationship, you no longer need to make an effort. You have to cultivate love day by day, but for some reason people relax when they feel they are sure of something. And then they forget to show their partner how much they appreciate and love him or her. These are basic things if you want a healthy relationship based on admiration and respect. Blaming the other person for everything that is wrong in the relationship means that you will not accept your share of responsibility. A couple is a team, and if you blame the other for everything, it's no longer a team. It is undoubtedly a lack of communication that is the cause of most relationships in crisis. It is unhealthy to remain silent about the things that bother you. Many people do that and hold it all inside until they explode. It is also not good to have doubts about your partner and not say anything about it. You end up living in constant uncertainty and making decisions that challenge your relationship, but you're both on your side. All of these things can destroy the bond you have. Every person needs space. Every person needs space. Another thing that causes a relationship in crisis is emotional dependence. It is about when your partner is your only source of pleasure. You believe that without him or her you will be nothing and you are completely dependent on your partner. When you can't do anything without the other person or even unable to feel good. But it is important for any relationship that both parties enjoy time to themselves. Every person should spend time with their friends and do something they like to do. Your partner is not the center of the world, and treating them that way can be suffocating. Total dependence on the other can also cause fear, uncertainty and doubt about the relationship. All of this can lead to an immediate crisis in the relationship. Your partner is your soulmate. Your partner does not complete you. The person you want to share your life with is a travel companion, not the reason you live. You may begin to compare your relationships with others. You see them from the outside and they seem perfect. Other couples do it all together and are never apart. It can also affect your relationship, and you might wish you were just as good. But now it's just that you don't know what goes on behind closed doors. It may be that they experience a relationship in crisis every day. Comparing your relationship to someone else's isn't fair and it's pointless. You are different from other people. You have had a different life, you have been through different things. Every relationship is unique and it is extremely important that you remember that. Mature love attracts without promises and unites without binding. It is nourished by gratitude and expanded by freedom. Arishemoth. Every relationship in crisis is an opportunity. As you have probably understood by now, crises are just an opportunity to change and transform your relationship. The changes can come in the form of a development or a rupture. They are moments that make you pause and reflect on the relationship. So the first step towards solving the crisis is to be open. In other words, being willing to deal with them in the best possible way. This means that you not only reflect and talk with your partner, but also meditate in your own time. When you talk to your partner, you will have to forget the grievances and come up with a practical and positive view. It is not useful to remind your partner of everything that he or she does wrong. Instead, think about how the relationship can be improved or how you can resolve the crisis so that you can reach a compromise. Otherwise, your relationship will constantly be in crisis. If you can't do it yourself, seek help from a relationship expert. Crises in relationships can lead to breakups, but they don't have to. But no matter what, they are necessary experiences. You will have to deal with it if you want to be a better person and partner.